Hey everybody, I'm just here to talk to you about a couple things that are going on that are pretty major right now, in my point of view, and in general. Right now, working on a DIY-based compilation. For right now, for the time being, it'll probably be the last compilation that I put up on the Earth's Limitation Bandcamp channel. It's going to be called Collection, and I know most of the time, or at least some of the time, when I've talked to people about DIY, they've just had the mentality of that being involved with punk bands and hardcore bands, not really much else in other genres. But it's going to be an open genre DIY comp. So far I have one poem contributed, 2 punk tunes, and one woman who I really admire as a musician. She does a style of music I like. She makes 3-stringed like cigar box guitars and stuff like that and plays them, and she just released a new album and she contributed this song to me. She goes by the title for a project B Music, BEMUZIC. Really good musician. I really love what she does. She contributed a song to it so far, and I'm just kind of waiting on other bands to get back to me right now, other artists. I know I've done this with a lot of other comps I've put out, or at least I've done this with 3 other comps I've put out of the 5 so far. I've contributed one of my poems, or something I've done to one, so I'm probably going to do that with this one too. Also, I know I've kind of proclaimed working on a record label. It's officially going to happen. It's not just another idea that I've thrown out there that's not going to be anything of any worth. It's actually going to happen. My friend Elias Stan's been helping me out with it. He's helping me build a website for it right now through Weebly. I don't know how many of you have ever heard of it, but it's a free website making site. It's called Weebly, again, for those of you who didn't. I kind of felt like I mumbled it the first time, but he's helping me make a website for it through that. It's going to be called Trade Post Recordings. We've looked it up. There's similar titles to that, but that one is not used, so that's the official title that's going to be used for it is Trade Post Recordings. For those of you who haven't seen my other video where I talk about it, it's going to be a completely DIY based record label. It's going to be open for all genres, the kind of music, art. It's going to be open to poet. I want to have it open. I cannot talk. I'm stuttering. Sorry about that. Seriously, I am. It's going to be open to poets. It's going to be open to do-it-yourself folk bands, folk rock singer-songwriters, folk punk, hardcore, metal, just all sorts of genres. As long as it's they have the true do-it-yourself mentality, working class mentality, and that's the kind of art I've always truly respected, and that's the kind of record label I'm making this into. And so far, I still have a couple things to get settled before I can officially start advertising or promoting the label, but it's so far it's on its way to being good, very good as far as I see. I don't want to go too much into detail about it because I feel like if you describe too much of something before officially its roots start, officially get a hold, then you end up jinxing yourself. So I'm just kind of giving you the basics now. There's one band that is already somewhat is actually quite interested in being a part of it, but like I said, I'm not going to go too much into detail about things, but they're they're a very legit punk post-hardcore band that, you know, I really respect them. Ever since the first time I heard them, I've liked their music, and they're very legit, in my opinion. So, but yeah, another note on the DIY compilation. Is called Collection, and for those of you who are artists are for the most part DIY artists, as strong as you can be, and you want to, no matter what genre you are, and you want to promote maybe a song or one of your poems or whatever you do, then I would really like to have you on the comp and talk to you about being on the comp. I'll put my email down below. For Facebook, you know, I've messaged a lot of bands on Facebook, or a few bands anyway, a few artists on Facebook about the comp. And like I said, I have 4 contributions so far. I have 3 from bands, and then 1 poem from a woman I know who does poetry, and she's very she is very good. I really admire her poetry. Her name is Holly McLean, and I really admire her poetry. And so I'll put my email down below, because I'd really rather be messaged. Sorry, it's like that's been acting up more lately, but I'd rather be contacted through my email when it comes to things I share through YouTube than Facebook, because it just makes it easier for me, because I'm getting messages from other people on Facebook about other things too, and sometimes I might miss over something. So when it comes to advertising things, talking about things here on YouTube, and it comes to maybe contacting people, I'd rather have that, because I get less emails about, you know, from actual people instead of just this, that, or the other. So most of the emails I get are downloads from Bandcamp, so I'm not going to miss over a personal message if you send me one on there. And another thing I talked about, and now I'm kind of like not keeping things consistent. I'm kind of like, okay, here's the comp, here's the label, here's the comp, but this is the last thing I'm going to talk about, is the label. I had talked about in my other video about making Earth's Limitation into the label, as in calling it Earth's Limitation Records or something like that, and then just changing, and then no longer putting Earth's Limitation on my poetry demos, and just putting my actual name. And I mentioned doing that in my other video, and that's something I really didn't want to do, because Earth's Limitation is originally Earth's Limitation is a project I started as kind of an intimate thing to myself, a way to help me raise my spirituality, my personal spirituality, my relationship with, you know, I don't know if anyone believes in God. I'm not really going to say God, but, you know, I believe the universal energy, and it's just a way to help connect with myself and know exactly what I'm aiming for through my spirituality and everything like that, and my mentality, to try to make things that help make me be a bolder person, and through my personal self. And the idea of the name Earth's Limitation was the fact that we're not perfect. You know, we all make mistakes. There are things that we pretty much, humans, we are pretty much our own birth, but we are also our own destruction in a way. So that's something I wanted to keep decided. You know, I've kind of strayed away from that mentality for Earth's Limitation, even though I'm pretty much doing most of the things I wanted to do with the project I'm doing right now. But I feel like, you know, spiritually, I have kind of strayed away from that mindset, that original set forth for the project. So I kind of just wanted to keep those two as their own things, so I could try to like reconnect with that mentality for Earth's Limitation, but still be able to pull off a dream I've had for a while of doing a record label. and it's kind of the thing that I've kind of wanted to do through making some sort of living off of. I don't want to make a living. I don't want to be like the greedy guy who, you know, is only in it for the money. I'm doing this record label because I want to share the working class bands. I want to share the bands, help promote the bands, give some bands a break, you know, to help reach their dreams, you know, the actual bands that work hard, the artists that work hard, and I want to work with them and helping them do that. And that's really why I'm doing it. I know I'll make some money off of it, but that's not the only reason I'm in for it. And I want to, I can't even talk. I'm doing it, trying to do it for the purity of the hard-working artist. So, that's why I'm doing it, for the most part. And, that's what I have to say about it right now. I'll more than likely make a couple more vlogs about the whole... I love sounds of nature. But I'll more than likely make a couple more vlogs about the whole... about trade post recordings. The more it progresses, the more as things happen, with me getting more things situated for it to officially be. I know I'll make one after I get a couple documents taken care of, and I know I'll make whenever, you know, the website for it gets taken care of, and, you know, we start putting a couple, you know, God dang, we put a couple things out through it. I'll make a video whenever, you know, I'll do at least a couple more videos. It's pretty much what I'm saying. For those of you who are watching this and have tried to do a record label or are doing a record label, you know what I'm talking about more than likely. So, that's all I've got to say for now. Until next time, keep it true. Peace out.